Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdy Neighbors. My name is Vince. Joining me is my co-host, the John Leguizamo to my Violator.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Luigi Mario.
Yeah, I just couldn't do one without
That's
the other.
it. Call me Zach Luigi Mario. I'm his co-host. Welcome to Nerdy Neighbors, the podcast where two random guys talk about random nerdy things.
Yes, we waver in and out of modern day zeitgeist. Today is one of those far walks that we tend to take. Kill your darlings, spoilers, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
We start every week with news, and I've got a decent bit, actually. So, starting off, DC shuts down Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also shut down a couple of other publishers that were underneath their umbrella. They're going to be replacing them, or they're going to be restructuring their whole ordeal into like 3 different categories. There's DC Kids for the kids, regular DC for people, I think it's like 12 to 17, and then for 17 plus they have DC Black Label, which is where all their gritty,
all the Batman pieces,
all the Batman dicks go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been in the works. Like everyone's been seeing it coming.
Yeah.
It's the end of an era.
It is.
I guess there's no point in crying about it because I don't buy that many Vertigo books, so I can't yell at them and go, "What the hell?"
I mean, you're a big fan of Hellblazer, right? Hellblazer, Sandman?
I like... Yeah, but I mean, that's sort of... But not because Vertigo books are bad. I'm saying, like, they restructured the business because people aren't buying comics. And even I'm a Vertigo comic book fan, and I don't buy that many Vertigo books.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I like Hellblazer. I mean, a lot of those books are... This is a silly thing to say, but they're kind of repetitive.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Sometimes it depends on who's writing them.
Right.
But, yeah. That sort of stinks. I mean, like, that's like a year and a half ago, and I think they're still talking about it, is they might stop doing Marvel Comics altogether. Just straight up stop doing comic books.
That would be really weird.
Yeah.
I hope that never happens.
And we'll see. People don't buy comic books.
Well, speaking of Marvel, do you follow Marvel's Twitter?
No, I don't. Should I?
No, not really. But on Marvel's Twitter, a couple days ago, they posted a picture of the number 4 done up in
Spiderwebs. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that going around.
Right. So people initially clung to that as they thought it was going to be a comic book release of the unproduced Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. It ended up being that J.J. Abrams and his son are going to be writing a Spider-Man book. So a lot of people were kind of on the downswing when it came to that one. Not everybody was super excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know, that's like a weird false start.
Yeah, and also, why would you start at 4?
Well, who knows? It's such a weird, unique time in our culture where people's imaginations go crazy.
Yeah, but
and it's like a weird game of like, what's that whispering game where everyone whispers and it gets different? Yeah. It's the internet version of that.
Well, it's not even that, though. It's
by the time it got to people, they thought it was this thing, which it's not.
Yeah, but, okay, I don't put the onus on the fans who
do.
Really?
Yes. I put the onus on people who draw conclusions.
You don't think that could have been like, hey, maybe Spider-Man's going to team up with the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, there's a lot of things it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't blame the fans for wondering or
yeah,
theorizing.
But well, this is a show where we see Kill Your Darling. So then people wondered and theorized, it's not that. It's this thing this famous director's writing with his kid.
Right.
And I guess what you're saying is people are like, well, that sucks.
Oh, no. I thought the point I meant to make was that people had in their heads that it was going to be this thing, ends up being a different thing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I like J.J. Abrams. I think he's a swell fellow.
Yeah, but the internet kind of was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, well, internet.
I thought that's more what you were reporting on.
Gotcha. So sticking with Spider-Man, technically, Tom Hardy is officially back for Venom 2. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be returning. My
mind completely blanked. I forgot that happened. We talked about it on the show.
We did. Yeah. It's a fun movie. Not good, but fun. Kevin Feige and the head of Sony both essentially came out and said, like, if Sony wants to do a Venom Spider-Man team up, they're more than able to do that. It's really just in the hands.
They came out holding hands and lifted them together.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the nerds clapped.
And the screen behind them showed a webbed 4.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ambivalent. That's what the I guess is. It's not even like sarcastic. It's just like, okay, whatever, man.
I think that Tom Holland could bring a lot of fun to the Venom franchise.
Right.
If that's the way they end up going with it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to screw the pooch somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one piece of news I have is that they're re-releasing Endgame.
I have that in my news, yeah.
And it's like...
maybe adding footage as well.
Well, no. Okay. There's a longer thing at the end.
So, what I have is they're going to be including a scene that was cut from the original, a tribute, which is most likely going to be to Stan Lee, maybe to Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, there's supposed to be like words from Kevin Feige.
I heard there wasn't going to be this. Where did I hear this? I should cite Looper. I heard from Looper yesterday there wasn't going to be added footage. There's going to be some tribute thing, and then a quote unquote surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, either way.
Which might be added footage, but it seemed like they were explicit with that. But check your sources, folks.
Yeah. I mean, either way.
We're living proof.
Yeah, exactly. Never listen to anything that two idiots say. But, I mean, either way, like, this re-release will most likely take Endgame over Avatar.
Which is the point.
Yeah, exactly.
And Feige's kind of been pretty upfront about that. It's a marketing thing.
Right.
Probably won't step on Spider-Man. They actually, all evidence points to, like, it'll help it. Captain Marvel, did, like, there was an influx while Endgame was on. And the same thing kind of happened with Black Panther, because Black Panther sort of came out just a couple of months before Infinity War.
Right.
And you could go see them both in the same day at some theaters. So they start to see also, like, oh, people go do like a double feature.
Yeah.
When they have the opportunity to.
Yeah, that'll probably happen with Spider-Man Far From Home, right?
That's literally.
What he was saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
gotcha.
I doubt it's going to hurt the movie. In fact,
yeah,
if you look at the numbers,
right, it makes more sense.
It's always helped us.
Right. I get it. Speaking of Far From Home, have you seen the promotional stuff that Sam Jackson got mad about?
No.
So in a bunch of like the posters, they flipped his character model. Mm-hmm. So his eye patch is on the wrong eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
This is coffee cup level tomfoolery.
Yeah. He tweeted out something along the lines of "Head's gonna roll." It's really great. It's totally Sam Jackson. That's it for news.
Yeah. When I first heard the Infinity War thing, I was kind of like, oh, that's gross. And then it was kind of like, what a weird line to be drawing now.
Yeah.
As far as Marvel being gross. I might go see it again. I wanted to before. I kept not being able to do 3 more hours.
Right, yeah. That's sort of the tough point with me. I also want to go re-see it, but
I can think of little things that I just would get bored of immediately now that I've seen them once.
Yeah.
Just little things.
Did you watch Wolf of Wall Street when it was in theaters?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I had the same kind of thing with Wolf of Wall Street that I had with Avatar.
You didn't want to invest 4 hours.
Well, I heard from a lot of people that it was Goodfellas. And for my money, in a lot of ways, Departed is Goodfellas. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not exactly.
Yeah, right.
And then when I did see parts of
the same spirit.
Yeah. And when I did see, Departed's great. I'm not talking shit on it. Yeah, no, the fingerprints are there.
Right.
And when I did eventually see Wolf of Wall Street,
also Goodfellas is good.
Yes,
it's in the name.
Totally. It's right there. That's right. I felt like, oh, that was valid. That was valid criticism. Yeah. I mean, it's of course a different blah blah blah, but it is like if you've seen Goodfellas,
you get where that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an enormously similar trajectory for the character. So
preach, Daddy.
Yeah, that's why I never saw Wolf of Wall Street. Interesting little tale.
All right, Zach, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Spawn.
Spawn.
The film. Now, I mean, we might talk about the comics. I had never really read the Spawn comics. Did you?
I started reading them at work today because I got bored.
Oh. But you have no, history with Spawn?
No.
See, for me, it's such a,
Besides seeing the movie. I saw the movie when I was younger.
I was taking my little punk ass to comic book stores when he first was out, and it was like this, like seemed like a teenager thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it was
so that the edgy kids want.
Yes, exactly, and I shied away from it. I think my first real introduction to Spawn was this film.
Okay.
Like classic sleepover, someone was allowed to rent a rated R film.
Are you doing that on purpose?
No, what? Doing what?
Stop. Yeah, you are. Okay. Moving on.
So my even after this, I think I watched the cartoon a couple of times, the HBO cartoon.
Yeah. I've seen that a bunch.
Not me.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Like all of it? Like you've seen the whole series and you're a fan?
I've seen the whole series like a long time ago, but I would just periodically watch episodes like as I found them on YouTube or whatever.
Is that good?
Yeah, it holds up, honestly. There's actually there's an anime that came out recently that very much reminded me of Spawn. It's called Devilman Crybaby. It's on Netflix. It's honestly, it's wild, but the art in it is it's very reminiscent of the HBO series.
No, yeah, like you think it
Like
as far as to say
guns,
homage?
I wouldn't say homage. I would say like a spiritual sibling.
Okay, cool. Just pulling up the IMDb here so we have frames of reference.
No worries. But yeah, so we're talking about 1997 Spawn, starring Michael J. White, or depending on if you're watching the movie and care about who comes up in the credits first, John Leguizamo. Wild that he
top billed.
Yeah, wild that he got top billed over the title character.
I want to be over the title character. Sheen, tell him to go fuck himself. I'm over Sheen.
If my name's not in a flaming tornado in the beginning with new metal playing in the background, I am out of here.
So, I mean, all right. So, in case you don't know Spawn, hey, milk's ready. But we're gonna do this first.
Sure.
In case you don't know Spawn, Spawn's about a mercenary who is betrayed by his friends.
Well, it's not so much. Yeah,
quotes.
Yeah, he's
Betrayed
betrayed
by his comrades.
by his coworkers. Yeah.
Yeah, and goes to hell and makes a deal to become the general of hell, and then goes on wacky adventures.
Yeah, I think that's it in a nutshell. Like generally,
for the purposes of discussing this movie.
Well, yeah, if you had to nail down the key points in this movie, you have Michael J. White he's an assassin for some shadowy organization. It's A6, I think is the name of it.
Yeah, they're 90s mercenaries. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You guys get it. Wet work stuff.
Right. He does bad stuff,
There's a kill chick.
Gets double crossed, sent to hell, comes back with newfound powers, and, whatever. He's seeking revenge.
For my money, it takes him too long to get his powers in this movie. Where do you land on that? I kind of want him to land and be
proto modern superhero movies.
Yeah,
where you have that whole powering up scene. It almost feels like. So there's a part in this movie where Spawn learns to shoot his nipples out. Mm-hmm. And the first time he does
not just nips.
Yeah, well, spikes.
Yeah.
From everywhere, but specifically in the scene I'm talking about, it's his nipple,
right?
His nipple guards, and he shoots them out. And then they look really sad, and they just sort of slump down.
Right, because that's fun.
Yeah, but the whole it's really weird because it takes him a long time to get his powers, but
for a while he's just a corpsey homeless guy.
Yeah, but he gets all of his powers in the span of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
0 to hero in no time.
Absolutely.
For all my Hercules fans out there.
And even we don't spend too much.
Honey, you mean Spawncules?
We don't spend too much time in hell. I'm just gonna rail right past that, which I feel like is a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I would have preferred to spend more time in crappy '90s CGI hell,
staring
and
at
less time.
Malborgia? Is that the name of the demon?
Yeah, well done. And less time with the. Again, just with the homeless motif, whatever that hopelessness that they were trying to.
Rat City, man.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt so half done, and it was communicated to me more strongly through my past experience with this genre and less from this movie. So I get what they're trying to do because I've seen it done well before. But the other thing that I found interesting was they totally turned Spawn into a cuck. Like
You mean that like at the end of the movie he realizes that he can't get his life back and he just lets his best friend?
Yes.
Really? You think that's a cuckening?
I mean, I don't know. I don't define these things. I would say it was very cucky.
I don't know if it's cucky.
All right.
It's not so much against his will.
Potato Picaco.
That's the name of the episode.
The other thing is, who's chewing scenery more in the best way, Sheen or Leguizamo?
Oh, that's a good question.
Who's crushing it more?
Oof.
All right, don't give Leguizamo all the credit because of that rad makeup.
That's the thing.
Because think about Sheen's goatee.
Sheen does have a dope goatee.
He's got a Xanatos goatee.
He does, and it is checking all the boxes.
It did you could put that guy in a ponytail. In that era, he could do Xanatos.
Yeah, I agree. Oh man, that is a good question. I would probably say Leguizamo freaks me out in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he goes wild. Like Sheen does the classic like I'm a villain, I'm a do villain stuff.
Yeah, but he's doing it so well.
He is. It's a master class.
It is a master class, buddy. Okay, well, just for a devil's advocate's sake, I'm gonna go Sheen for me. I love them both.
Sure.
Quick piece of trivia.
Sure.
I dug up while I was. Apparently, when he's eating that pizza, he eats some real maggots.
Gross.
Yeah, he says he didn't swallow them, but it is this weird. Would you call that a humble brag? It is this thing that he boasts.
I mean, the original method actor, John Leguizamo.
Ugh.
Getting deep in it.
So, who else should we talk about? Melinda Clara, I think, as Jessica Priest. She is. She's in that Rome show I like a lot.
Right.
She also is.
She was also super villaining the crap out of this.
Yes. She's also in the second Mortal Kombat. She plays.
She plays
Katana's mom.
No, Sindel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Man.
So that's the range we're getting. From her. She's wonderful though.
Earth was created in 7 days.
We're talking about Spawn.
Sorry. It's a sweet spot for me. Love everything Mortal Kombat.
What else? What else is worth talking about?
See, that's the thing about.
Should we talk about the overall plot?
Because
it is so thin.
Yeah. We can talk about the plot if you'd like.
There's Wanda.
Yeah, there is. Correct. There's Zack, the lovable, artful Dodger type.
Right.
Yeah, dude. I don't really know what.
See,
this was a poor topic.
Yeah, that stuff just kind of it didn't do anything for me. I can't stress enough. They really shit the bed with the not really spending that much time in hell. And I mean, Leguizamo is a great acolyte of hell, and to represent, Well,
everything about the movie felt like rushed. They needed to get it seems as though McFarlane was like, "Hey, you're gonna do this arc to this arc, and
right?
You need to hit these points." And by the time everything got done, it was like, "Well, we can't delve into anything."
And
now.
Some stuff feels like studio notes. Apparently, the Terry character is in the comics a black gentleman, and not as much of a nice guy. Not as altruistic.
Right.
Ooh, I accidentally cucked you. So that's that feels very notey. That feels like something Todd McFarlane was like, okay, make him a white guy. That's fine. Make him a good guy because there's this daughter.
Yeah, I mean, I like that
will
choice.
Fly with audiences. Really?
Yeah, I'm getting.
I never understand whitewashing.
Oh no, not whitewashing.
I didn't mean for you to shit. I didn't mean to accuse you of that.
No worries. Everybody knows I would cast Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. I don't mean to cast aspersions.
No worries. But more so, if a couple gets separated and the other half of the couple moves on, I like when that guy's just not a despicable person.
Right.
Like,
but
I
for
like
me,
that.
it's like, for me, excuse me, I can't wrap my head around the, like, okay, even if you like that, it feels like the best case scenario is that they had this shared grief that they built a relationship on.
Yeah.
Or the worst case scenario is they were always secretly
planning.
into each other. Or maybe not planning,
Yeah.
but there was something there. And that gets completely kind of combed over in this kind of like, the film almost wants us to go, look, he's white, he's stable, he loves that kid, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I think, like, again, by making him a Caucasian character, there is this kind of weird thing that the movie is saying of, like, this guy is safer.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think they're saying black people are dangerous, but it is kind of like, don't worry.
Yeah. Rest your simple mind.
Yeah, because they didn't change his name. He's Terry Fitzgerald. Yeah. I didn't know this about Spawn. So I'm not trying to wave some flag here.
Right.
It just does seem like a weird
So speaking
random
of knowing
change.
Spawn, so like I said, I read a little bit of Spawn, like the comics at work today, and it seemed like this movie is obviously an adaptation of the first major arc. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is what the comics do in a really fun way is that when Spawn comes back from the dead, he has no idea who he is. And he gets his history in like these weird flashbacks that happen at random times.
Right.
And I feel as though that could have been a way more interesting plot
this movie
device.
had no time for that. You're right. That is more interesting.
Yeah.
But
like,
all right. If there's a weird break in our conversation, a podcast on my phone just started playing, and they kept saying the word Spawn.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But anyways,
but yeah, no, this movie definitely felt crazy rushed. It tried to do a whole bunch of things. Why did we spend so much time doing nothing?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's like a good half hour of this film that you could just cut.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Everything that A6 is doing doesn't feel important.
No.
And it's not even I don't understand the stakes. I don't even understand why we're watching it.
Right. And it's not even that, well, okay. I wouldn't agree that what A6 is doing
I get the
doesn't matter.
stakes.
It's just that they spent way too much time on it.
Right.
It could have been easily summed up. Hey, it's been 5 years since you died. Martin Sheen has, found this biological weapon and he's planning on using it, blah, 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 blah. Spawn doesn't care about that. He's just in it for revenge. So I don't know why that played a huge part in it, because it wasn't a part of his decision.
Well, because it makes him a good guy.
Yeah, but he's going after the guy who killed him and who has a biological weapon. He's the good guy anyway.
Right, but wouldn't you say it's the equivalent of like Sokovian citizens? Like by going like, oh, they have this biological weapon that they want to sell and probably to not reputable people. By stopping them, he's saving people.
No, because in the movie, he doesn't find out about that until after he's made the decision to kill.
Right, but we, the audience, know it. That feels very 90s thing to me. Like to give your anti-hero accidentally does something.
But they set
it, incidentally, not even accidentally.
They set everything up for the audience in the beginning. You learn he doesn't like killing civilians because he confronts Martin Sheen about it. We keep calling him Martin Sheen. What is it? Jason Wynn?
Yeah.
So he
but just
doesn't like killing civilians. He's a good guy. He gets murdered by the obvious villains of the story. I don't think that guy's in the wrong.
But in an act 2 of anything, you need to like remind everyone and then up it.
Right, but again, they up it for who?
I seriously, I'm agreeing with you here, but I think theoretically for us.
Right, no, I get that. Like, it seems like a weird producer note. Like,
I agree.
Like,
totally.
When you're reading the Spawn comics, he's not, like, he's a good guy by the loosest definition of the term.
Yeah.
Like, he intervenes in crime or whatever, but he also, like, unloads machine guns at buildings or whatever.
Yeah, isn't it way more like, oh, the general of hell and what?
Yeah, they play
What is
into that a lot more,
yeah.
which is weird. I think that this movie could have been really good if they, well, maybe not really good. There's nothing you can do to get past the fire tornado effect. But like, if they would have maybe focused more on the duality of, okay, I'm the general of hell, but I want to do good things, but I also want humans to maintain their ability to choose, something like that would have given the character a bit more depth. Like, that's the major issue. Spawn has no depth.
That's why I lean into the hell thing. Like, we should know what was compelling about becoming the general of hell. It shouldn't just be like a demon just goes, "You want to be the general?"
Yeah.
Like,
that's CGI, $18 million.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
I think it was a $40 million film. I actually looked this up. But doing stuff like,
that cape's got to be $20 million.
Hashtag Spawn.
You've
Search
done
it.
hashtag ad. I've done hashtag
it's not
ad.
open. I don't know why it's happening.
Certainly Spawn. I've never done hashtag ad. Why do you?
It keeps opening.
You need a new phone.
It's not even open. Okay, so it cost $40 million.
You're looking back to see what it made.
I thought I had that readily available. I lost it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm going to assume didn't make its money back.
Revenue.
$87 million.
Not bad then.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That made its money back.
They were set to make another one.
It's definitely not enough for a sequel.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to make another one.
Yeah, well,
the director supposedly hates
now.
it. The Mark Dip.
Sure.
It's got the business at the end of the E.
It's got the little accent mark. Mark. But yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you want to try and bleed from this stone here.
I mean, I feel like it's a pretty good amount. Would you go as to, let's do kind of like finishing thoughts. Would you go as far as to say missed opportunity?
Yeah, I would. Honestly, because I think that, like, this movie, when did X-Men come out?
1999 or 2000. I know I always get it mixed up.
So,
Vamp and I'll find out.
Even still, the fact that 2 to 3 years later, you could get a movie like X-Men that tells a pretty concise story without looking too far into the future to see what happens to that. I think that you just hold off for a little bit. You could release Spawn. Well, I guess the 90s was kind of the heyday for Spawn too, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, 97 is almost... X-Men was 2000. 97 is almost shocking because I think Spawn as a concept was 1991 or 1992. So he's a 6-year-old, maybe 7-year-old character. Definitely not even a decade yet.
Right, it's crazy. But alas, like I definitely think it was a missed opportunity. I think that I wouldn't change any of the casting at this time. Like, I think that everybody
no. Yeah, everyone was
cast really well.
And crushing it. 1992 is the first Spawn comic. So 5 years after he hits the shelves, there's a film.
That's wild.
Which is a hell of an accomplishment.
How about you? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say missed opportunity. I would almost go so far as to say like
cult classic.
Well, no, but like here's like a good first step. Or something. Here's like a good, like those proto Marvel movies that would make the rounds when I used to go to conventions that are like kind of campy and fun to watch.
Yep.
And this completely lands in that family. Like I wouldn't go as far as to say like, oh, this is trash. I'm sort of glad something like this happened.
Yeah, same.
It's not a thing I'd reach for that often though.
I'm right there with you. I definitely see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I would say no, not a missed opportunity. An opportunity it felt like people were trying.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Like, everybody seemed to be having a good time.
Yeah, everyone wanted to make a good Spawn movie. I think even with $40 million, there were budget constraints. Looking at that Hobo Street, the Rat Alley, or what have you. I mean, it's like the set must have set him back $200.
Yeah. Well, Malborgia must have cost... maybe $4.
Oh, jeez. And that was the actor who plays that was his last film. The actor who plays the kind of like Obi-Wan character, Grimson.
Nico Williamson.
Yeah, Nico Williamson. It was his last film.
Yeah.
Ever. Apparently he was like, he was in a lot of, he was in like Oz the Return, which is like this really weird Wizard of Oz movie. I'm not sure who he played in that. I think he played one of the wheelie guys.
Gotcha.
Oh, here we go. All right. So, and that was our Spawn conversation. And,
all right, everybody. At this point in the show, we're going to go back to our segment where we reach out to Zach's buddy Milk, who works in a comic book store, to get some comic book recommendations. In a segment we are calling Skim Milk.
Oh, because why?
Because you skim through comics. Right? Is that a thing? Am I crazy?
Negative. We'll revisit this next week.
We'll think of something else.
Milky, how's it going, buddy?
Good, how you guys doing?
Doing swell.
I wish I was Skim.
Same.
Oh, hey.
How's it going
Here's
today?
things are going good. We're talking. I don't know where this will end in the episode, but we're talking some of America's finest films.
Stop saying that.
Okay.
It's triggering
Fair
me.
enough.
What's going on at the comic book shop? What should we be looking out for? What should we not be looking out for?
Well, the whole Black series that they had that came out not that long ago for Batman, where they actually showed Batman's genitalia.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier tonight, funnily enough.
Oh, well, all right. Well, they just released Superman Year One in the same format.
That's the
So
Frank
it's
Miller
that
one, right?
Size comic. What's that?
That's the Frank Miller one?
No, I don't think so. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but I do know that book just came out. Personally, I'm not a Superman fan. I never really have been. But if you are going to read a Superman story, I would highly encourage you to read Red Sun, which was a Millar book, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, Red Sun's good. Is it true that in Superman Black they're going to finally show us Superman's butthole?
I hope not. Another cool thing that came out this week was there's a collection of the first 5 issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that have been redone, and it's got like a $50 price tag for this big boxed collection of same size format that they did when they originally dropped them in, what was it, 85, I believe?
Yeah. Have you read those before? They're really good.
Yeah, no, I absolutely did. I have them. And I enjoyed the trade paperbacks as a kid because we used to get them from, I think it was like, there was a Hallmark bookstore down the street from me, and we would go there and I would get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trade paperbacks. They were cool. I loved it.
There's such a
like ultra violent.
Yeah, there's such a dope time capsule of like what was going on at the time, and it was like kind of a cutting edge book when it first came out. People don't realize.
Yeah, if that came out in 85, that sounds like a 90s era. Because I read the older Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, and you are correct. It is very bloody and gory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Not the campy stuff that you guys get in the cartoons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, my brother actually, he's a past guest on the show. He actually was curious. Were you talking about last week? Were you talking about Silver Surfer Black?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. You know, one of these days we're going to have a long conference about that book because I was reading it a little bit this weekend and I couldn't disagree with you more about the art.
See, and I hear that the book is great, and I heard that the last ones that came out were great too, but I just can't get past the artwork, and that's just me personally. I mean, there's people that can, but for me, I gotta have both.
All right,
and if anything, I need the artwork to pull stronger than the story, but if I can have both be phenomenal, then that's great.
Well, I just had to call you out, my friend. All right. Finally, unless you have any other big recommendations or stay away froms, we're talking the 1997 film Spawn tonight. Do you have any kind of like memories of that movie or any kind of takeaways?
Not much. I think I got to watch it the one time, and I was good with that.
You're definitely not alone.
Just remembering that Leguizamo, I'm not saying his last name.
You're crushing it.
Nailed it, 100%.
I'm close enough.
Yeah.
He did the best that he could, and he really did try. You could see that like he's putting his all into it, and I thought that was pretty good.
Oh, our take.
If we're gonna talk Spawn during that time, I think the animated series that they were putting out on HBO was considerably better.
Yeah, that came up. I haven't seen that much of it. Vince has seen a lot of it, but not all of it. But we gotta focus. We've tried doing big conversations before, and we suck at them. We had to focus on one thing tonight, and that was a film.
Oh, God.
All right, so
okay, Milk. Would you say that Spawn 1997 is the best movie that has a shark scene in it?
No. No, I won't. Oh, what was the movie? Oh, I'm on the spot. They're at an art gallery, these sharks.
Shark Attack.
Passed away.
Sharknado?
What was it?
No, we were both doing bits. What were you trying to think of?
Oh, I can't think of his name. He passed away. He was an actor.
Along Came Polly?
Yes, that was the best shark scene ever in a movie.
All right, I don't know. That was 1997. I think Vince might have got you.
Yeah. Fair enough. If we're talking 1997, then
listen,
yes,
I'm not too proud. We can agree to disagree.
All right, well, dude, thanks for calling in. Give us a plug for the store.
Comic Depot, 514 Broadway, Saratoga Springs, New York. You can also find us on Facebook, and our little picture is the Comic Depot logo with an R2D2 head in there.
Oh, crap. Okay, and then what were the things that were recommended? You said all right.
So you said Superman Red Sun.
Red Sun. The Frank Miller Year One for
book I think would be worth taking a look at because the Batman thing took off, so I guess it would be worth it for you to take a look at the new Superman book. 3 Star Wars titles came out this week. I mean, not brand new ones, but you got the regular Star Wars series, Star Wars Dr. Aphra, and then Star Wars TIE Fighter, which is a newer series.
Are you reading any of those? I'm curious about the regular Star Wars series.
Up and down.
I got you.
But,
I've heard the TIE Fighters supposed to be
worth
good.
continuing. It's one of those ones where, just when you're starting to feel a little off from it, it pulls you right back in. So it's worth it.
Are there consistent teams, or do they kind of shake it up every 6 months with the writers and the artists?
Oh, no, it's been pretty consistent.
Oh, okay.
I just wish that Marvel had decided to keep everything that Dark Horse did canon.
Right.
That would have made things a lot easier and a lot cooler, in my opinion.
Oh, Milk, don't get me started on how many Cage Skywalker books I had to stack up and burn.
Nobody will know
of
Chewie's sacrifice.
That came out this week that I totally forgot about, which is worth mentioning for any G.I. Joe fans. The newest issue of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, written by Larry Hama, which, anything that man touches that has G.I. Joe in it is gold. This newest issue is kind of like a nod to all of the fallen G.I. Joe characters that everybody loved so much. I mean, these are like big characters too. It's not like, Bill, the guy with the gun in the background.
Right.
It's all the major.
Wait, you told me that don't talk about Bill, the guy with the gun in the background?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What was
don't worry. He's doing a bit. He's doing a bit. We got to work on this technology. All right, so that feels like the biggest recommendation from you, that G.I. Joe Real American Hero.
Absolutely. I would say that that's the one that I would pull for the most.
All right, there we go. There's our skim milk. No, we'll work on that next week.
We'll get you something better.
All right, folks, Comic Depot, and then check out Comic Depot on Facebook, and check out the G.I. Joe Real American Hero. All right, Milky, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep, you gentlemen have a good night.
Yep, Spawn forever.
So now we're going to get into nerdy things we did this week. I did nothing nerdy this week because I worked around 80 hours.
He works all the time.
All the time.
I'm going to retroactively mention that I read the Star Trek Mirror Mirror books. I don't know if I did last week.
All right. We do need to talk about this because I just checked my Comixology or my online comic account.
You bleep that.
And I noticed that I am being recommended so many goddamn Star Trek books now. It's all that's in my recommended
It set
feed.
me on a thing because I got curious about other books.
Oh my goodness.
The Star Trek Mirror books are hilarious. Sun's out, guns out, all right? No Starfleet in uniforms have fucking sleeves, all right? Have you seen any of the covers?
Yeah, I've seen the covers.
Picard with his goatee.
The covers are pretty dope.
It's got a cyborg arm, and it's just everything's so heavy metal. Super funny, stupid books to read. I read those, and I read another Star Trek book that was kind of like this omnibus at different eras thing.
Is that the one that had Kirk on the cover?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. It was fun for me to read, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it.
No. I can guarantee you I won't read any of those.
Oh, not even for you, just general for the listeners.
Gotcha.
Unless you're already a Star Trek fan, because there's cool Captain Data stuff. Other nerdy things I did this week, playing Battlefront. I guess I'll end it there. I finally, for the first time in my life, watched most of Roadhouse.
Okay.
And then got blackout drunk. I can't really remember the rest.
That's the best way to enjoy Roadhouse, if I'm not mistaken.
So far, so good.
Oh. So far, so roundhouse kick.
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
Oh, bummer,
Last
dude.
thing I saw was, that guy showing up and keeps calling him Miho.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, Miho. Daddy's got you.
All right, let's talk about homework. You didn't do yours.
I didn't do mine. I had a bachelor party.
Classic Zack fashion.
Yeah.
Too busy having fun to do homework. I'm over here slaving away. No, that's not true. But I did do my homework, Zach. So let's talk about Band Candy.
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite episodes. This episode is such a fun romp.
Yeah, okay. So,
Band Candy is,
right.
I think, episode 6 of season 3 of Buffy. Somewhere in that region, 6 or 7.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set the table a bit.
Why you do that?
Yeah. So the Scooby Gang and all of the kids at Sunnydale have to sell these candy bars in order to get funds for a new marching band uniform.
Yeah, as high school students often have to do.
Exactly, yeah. Nothing out of the realm. Relatable content, we'll call it. They then proceed to do the thing that every teenager would do, where you just go to your parents and you're like, hey, how many of these can you buy? Cool.
Or make your friends buy.
Yeah. And then the episode gets weird. So anybody or any adults who eat this candy bar, they regress to their younger selves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how teenagers act. There's no responsibility. When I was a teen, I was so racked with anxiety over if I did anything out of order, my life would crumble to pieces around me.
Right.
That is not how teenagers act, and it made me so mad the entire
I have got to call you out here.
What?
I think, well, you were maybe a different type of teenager in a different era.
Right.
And you're a different type of person. I can tell you from, like, my teenage years, this makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh, my god.
Like, especially, like, I mean, gosh, I don't want to get into personal stories.
Yeah,
but, like,
let's not do that.
Like, you know.
But they're suburban kids.
So was I. Dude, there's
Growing
different
up
types
in a wealthy white neighborhood.
I mean, Cary, North Carolina is pretty affluent.
But the fact that there was none. The kind of guy that grows up to be Principal Snyder. When he was a teenager, he was just like...
He was like
he was a clingy hanger-on who had no inhibitions?
Yes, it's what makes him this spiteful, awful creature that he is now, because he just had almost no personality and was this weird hanger-on guy. And, I mean, eventually there's nothing to hang on to, and you get kind of hateful towards the world and stuff. I don't know. I'd go to bat for that. I'd go to bat for all of it.
It's a weird choice.
I especially like... young Giles, man, with his weird accent, and he's listening to, he
did the grunge thing where he tied his flannel shirt around his waist.
Hell yeah, dude, and he's listening to, what's that band that Clapton was in? It's that band, it'll hit me later. It's cool music they're listening to, too. It's like rad, like in-the-know rock music. It's like a real specific nod that the music he puts on. Like, if you... It's
Did kids
escaping me.
actually think smoking cigarettes was cool?
They definitely did where I grew up. I mean, it was North Carolina, but the bad kids smoked and
I guess
spiked their hair and had sex with each other and did drugs.
Okay. So speaking of, Joyce fucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that she has sex. Joyce fucks.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She pulls out handcuffs.
Yeah, man.
Just from nowhere, inexplicably. Very great.
Because it's like this weird thing where they...
Also, I don't want it to come across as though I didn't like this episode.
No, you clearly did. You're smiling.
Yeah, I love this episode.
Yeah. It's this weird thing where they... The episode really goes back and forth on the rules of like they remember being grown-ups and all that kind of stuff. They just don't feel like doing it.
Right.
They'd much rather just kind of lean into
they're
these
just over it.
Teenage personas. So it's not like she forgets that she has a daughter named Buffy or anything like that. It's just like, ugh, who wants to do that?
Right.
Like it's much cooler to hang out with Giles and...
Did you have a nickname growing up?
No, well, not a fun one that I'll bring up on this.
Not Ripper?
No, it wasn't Ripper. But he was like tough and he was English and stuff like that. And I kind of buy that.
Okay,
That's
but
what they
did
called
he
him.
say, call me Ripper?
To other people?
To Joyce specifically.
He said it to Joyce in this episode, absolutely.
In this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just missed it.
He says it after he punches the cop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Or he says it when he's lighting the cigarette and doing this to his hair.
Yeah.
And he's like, call me Ripper.
Yeah,
It's right before the dress. It might not be the cop thing. It might be when he's like, you like it? And he like fucking smashes the window.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I like that guy who plays Schneider, Armin Zimmerman or something like that. He's also in Deep Space Nine, and I think he's great on the show. And when Buffy's Jeep gets hit, and he goes, Summers, you drive like a spaz. That line really works for me.
Your mom's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Really good.
I swear to God, I love young, tough Giles. And it's 80% of the reason this is in my top 5.
I figured that as
Giles
soon as I
smoking
saw
cigarettes, punching people. And,
I would have...
ooh, Copa's got a gun, and all that crap.
I would have liked there to be more, like, black magic. Right? Like, isn't this right around the time that he was supposed to be, like, delving into the dark arts and
But,
everything?
okay, this is the thing where I say, like, it's...
I mean, obviously there are budgetary constraints, and it's a TV show from the...
There's budgetary and also, like, plot constraints, where it's like, if we're focusing on this show as a teenage blah, 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 and
Right.
teenagers feeling like, oh, my parents make me do too much, and there's too much responsibility and too much... and Buffy learning about that responsibility because she's faced with a world where none of the grown-ups are doing that.
Right.
Then you can't also go, but also his black magic. It's like, no, you have to have him smoking cigarettes and running around and doing whatever he wants with her mother so that she can go, stop it, be good.
Yeah. There's part of me that wishes this was like a Giles origin.
Yeah.
Like, just have him go full into it.
There's Dark Horse comics out there with that stuff.
Yeah.
Because he apparently comes from a long line of Watchers, and it was like this whole thing that his dad made him do, which is why he rebelled against it, which is why he was a teenager. He even knew about the dark arts, because Gileses have always been Watchers.
Right.
So
the overall plot of this is that
Ethan has returned. Ethan Rain.
Well, I don't think that he's a major plot point in this.
I kind of like the world building of, like, if you need some anarchy,
oh yeah,
you hired Ethan Rain.
I dig that. It's more so like I feel as though you could have replaced Ethan Rain with any other person.
But that's why I like that it's Ethan.
Yeah,
because it's
I
world
get it.
building.
Yeah,
it's like Giles's.
I get where you're coming from.
Nemesis.
But the overall plan is they're going to distribute these candy bars. They're going to get the parents of Sunnydale to just not care about stuff so that they can steal 4 babies and sacrifice them to a giant sewer snake.
Yes, all the adults. Yeah, because there are demon lords that the mayor has to appease to be able to ascend.
Right. I really like the mayor in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that dude is spooky and off-putting and evil, and I really like it.
He's my favorite villain.
Yeah. I also like the interaction he has with Mr. Trick.
Mm-hmm.
where after the mission goes sideways, he's just like, well, the way I see it, I did you a favor. And the mayor leans down and is like, just watch how many favors you do me.
Yeah.
That was so foreboding and ominous. It was great.
He's crushing it performance-wise and plot or script-wise. They just give him the best stuff. It's one of the more like clear master strokes of the entire series is the mayor and that characterization and the performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun episode. Did you watch any before or after that we haven't discussed?
I just jumped right to it, honestly. Okay. Like, with as much work as I had to do,
no problem.
Donezo.
Shit, man, that might wrap this one up. There's another kind of light one.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
We have been busy. And if you guys want to get busy with letting us know how you feel about Spawn, feel free to reach out to us at nerdy_pod on Twitter. Getting those plugs in there where we can.
Yeah.
Your homework for this week. I don't know if you have homework for me. But with Vertigo closing down, I want you to read what is quite possibly my favorite Vertigo item, which is Transmetropolitan.
Okay.
I wonder how you will feel about it.
Yeah.
I am not sure.
I know of it.
It's different than other stuff I've given you, but I think you'll dig it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll find out, and we'll talk about it.
Nothing will be as weird as Archie versus Predator, so.
I can get weirder.
I don't know what to give you yet. I'll figure it out. Maybe we'll tweet it.
Sure.
Yeah. It won't be Buffy again, because I don't want to go to that well too much. I like going to it every now and then.
Sure.
Okay. So, that's the end of this show.
And Zach, I think we need to end the episode the same way we end every episode.
By doing the rap from John Leguizamo comedy film, The Pest?
No. Not that one.
I like to